So you know, yesterday I did that video about the Americans not considering black British as being full black, but just British black and whatever. It's so funny because I was reading a comment, and a comment related to me so much, and it was so bizarre that I never even knew that I've already dealt with this, but in sort of the African sense. And that happens quite a lot, to be honest, and I didn't even know it's like the same thing.
Boy, I think I might claim you. Put my number in your phone, nickname you. It's Brianna, if you know my name, like Alicia. Still he told his ex-bitch, bye Felicia. Hit Joye and ship you a couple kicks.
There's this place that I used to work, oh my gosh, so many years ago, like 2010? Is it 2010? Wait. I left in 2010, but I started in 2009. Yeah, I started in like around October, November 2009, and I left around March or April, I think. Yeah, it used to be this recycling factory in Barking, and it was one of the first places I worked where it was only men, and out of all of us that are workers on the floor, was the only British born person. Besides me, there was half of us, like let's say 15 men were Nigerians, actually all Nigerian, and then 15 were all Polish, and I was the only British born Nigerian there. So it used to just be the usual, people just have stupid banter and stuff in it. I never really talked to that many people, to be frankly honest with you. I just did what I'm doing there because the jokes either side I just never related to. Like when African men are around African men and they're like that, the only thing they're like talking about is pussy and all of this stuff, and it's just like, it's just not, obviously nothing I like to engage in. Not even like that, but like it's just a conversation. I hate it when men talk like that. Like it doesn't even, it's annoying. And then you have the Polish people that always talked in their language anyway, and they never really intertwined. Maybe there was one or two that said hello, but that's probably the most conversation I had with those people for all those months I worked there. And so, but with Nigerian side, they always interact. They're always like, "How are you? Where are you from?" And they have little banter. And if I'm talking to someone, who are you talking to? They'll be like, "Your friend. Let me see your friend." And then obviously they're older men. Your friend's fine. And she got a boyfriend, and then that's how you become close to them, because they suddenly notice that you've got all these girls as friends and they're all pretty and they want a piece. But these are old men, ain't my friend. None of my friends will ever be checking for any men like that. Terrible. Besides, they're married and all sorts. So that happened. Then I think I purchased my car in like a December, because I remember we was coming from clubbing, and it was me and my friend Janine and another person that I used to be friends with, and I saw this car in East Ham, right in front of, like not far from East Ham College, Newham College, and I was just like, oh my god, my heart, it was just on the road, and I was like, that is, I want this. And then the next day I bought it, and I was the only person besides the women and the owner of the factory that drove. So that was something else. So when I first got my car, it started, the dynamic started, it changed a tiny bit. It was so bizarre how it changed, to be honest, because it was just something so small, but it definitely changed a bit how people were talking to me. So they were a bit, especially the Polish people, they would talk to me a bit more. It was just like, oh, because obviously cabby over here, innit? And so I started dropping people home every time we finished our shifts, because we had 2 shifts. We had like a 3 to 12 and we had like a 6 to 3. Remember, it was the break. I come up for like the last 10 minutes until it finished. The Nigerian men were in the, it was like where our lockers were, but I suppose it was like a canteen sort of place as well, because there were tables there, but whatever. And they were sitting down and they were like, so when was the last time you actually went to Nigeria, Junior? And I was like, oh gosh, a very long time ago. I don't even want to say, to be honest, it was really long. And they were like, any specific reason why it's been so long? I was like, because I haven't really had a reason to really go back, to be honest with you. And they were like, so does your dad speaks Yoruba, right? I was like, yes. He goes, you know where you're from there? I said, yeah, Ondo State. He goes, okay. And they're like, they started going on and talking. And they're like, they started talking to me in Yoruba. And I was like, can we not do that? And they were like, you don't understand. I was like, no, not really. And they were like, disgraceful. That's so you should be ashamed of yourself. How can you not know your native language? And I was like, my dad was born here and he's quite Cockney, so I don't feel like he didn't feel like a need of teaching me, to be honest. And they were like, no, it's your responsibility to know your language. I was like, how can it be my responsibility when I didn't even know I needed to know a language? I didn't know, because I never really heard my dad speak all the time like that. And when he did speak, it just wasn't. I told you, my dad was born here, he's so more Cockney. Then they were just like, well, you should be ashamed of yourself. You definitely, and then you call yourself an African boy. You're a fake African boy, my friend, fake African boy. Very, very British, that's what you are. The only thing that's with you is the fact that you're a bit darker than a normal white man, but you're a fake African boy. And they all started laughing. Yeah. From that day, horrible. I was just like, oh my god, so I'm fake African because I don't know how to speak Yoruba. That is actually not my fault, but from then they started vandalizing my car. So the first time was my wheel. It was punctured. I didn't even know. I drove from Barking to Asda that time, because I think my mum wanted to meet me. I can't remember, something like this. And when I got to Asda, the man was like, you've got a flat tyre, you've got a flat tyre. And I didn't even notice. He was like, I was like, really? He's like, yes, look. And I got out and it was really flat. I don't even know how I didn't notice that. And I was like, oh my god. He goes, okay, don't worry, I'll change it. This really nice Somalian man just come, changed it and everything. And it was like, you need to be careful. Who did this? And I was like, maybe I just went over like, and they said, no, this has been tampered with. And that's when I was like, oh. And it was slashed. And I was like, I don't know. So be careful where you park next time and blah blah. I was like, thank you so much. That happened. I was tiny bit annoyed, but not annoyed. As soon as I saw my mum, it was just normal. Then the next night was my wing mirror, my left wing mirror. That was, they definitely, and I noticed that straight away. And I was like, okay, I bought a new wing mirror. I just ordered that off eBay. The next thing was, this was really serious, to be honest. This was like the last night now. And this night I was on a night shift. So I just decided I didn't want to sit with them. Because it's night, I wasn't feeling like going to Thamesview. Thamesview, it's so ghetto. I don't like that place. And then, not Thames Mid, not in South East, you guys, if you know where that is. Thamesview is in Barking. This is like an estate. So I drove back home, which wasn't too far because I lived in Dagenham. I just remember when I was on the A13, there there was no pull. I was going into third, I went into fourth, I went into fifth, and it wasn't moving above 40. And I just didn't understand. I was like, what is going on? Like, there was no oomph, there was nothing. So I got home, I quickly got something to eat in a bowl. Not like I had enough time because I drove so slow. And then I got some more CDs. I remember I ran to my car, and as I was shut the door, the neighbours come out that it was parked in front of, and they're like, stop. And I was like, what's the matter? And they were like, there's a lot of smoke coming from the back. And I was like, really? All these people notice problems and I never noticed anything. It's not funny, but it's true. Then when they come, so I got out, and I got out, and I looked at the back, and then the man went down, and then there was weave stuffed in the exhaust, and he was like, fucking hell, who did this? And I was just like, I was so shocked. They're like, you're so lucky, you know, this car could have blown up. And I was just, that was just enough for me, to be honest. I couldn't, oh my god, that was just horrible. That was really horrible. But anyway, I went to work that night, and then after that time I never went back again. And that was me. I didn't even say I left. I just never went back. But yeah, that just reminded me of the fact that I have been through it in the African sense. But it's really sad, to be honest, that your own people kind of judge you on how black you are or how cultured you are based on stupidity. Like, it wouldn't have been anything for him to ask, do you want to learn Yoruba? Like, I don't mind teaching you. I would have been open to it. Like, yeah, why not? Instead of telling me that I'm a fake African just because I don't speak it. Like, who made you the African police? So, yeah, that just reminded me of the video I did yesterday. But if you guys can relate of anything ever happened to you, just like pull it down in the comments.
I'm ready to go.